Forget the greatest show on turf, how about the greatest show on the mat? Husky Wrestling was back in action.
And a big CLC matchup in high school hockey as Sartell welcomed number 2 in state, Alexandria.
Finds Carly Jeffrey for 3. Bang! Tie ball game!
And it took not 1, but 2 overtimes to decide a winner in Hollenbeck Hall on Saturday night. Husky Mag starts now. The biggest game of the weekend, Upper Iowa versus St. Cloud State in women's basketball. This one was a close one from start to finish. Chelsea Nooker, pull-up, jumper in the lane. It's good. Huskies with a short lead, but Upper Iowa would stay around Winkler. You're going to hear me call his name all night long. And one, and another and one. Winkler dominated the Huskies in the paint, but St. Cloud State tips it. Upper Iowa, they had a little more help. Peacocks would not leave the Huskies alone. Carly Jeffrey in the post. You're not going to see that too many times. You might see her around that perimeter a little bit. Here's a perimeter 3. It's good. Upper Iowa up 1 on St. Cloud State. Later in the game, Carly Jeffrey, threes, please, no. Rebound by Whitman. It's up and good. That combo might work out just a little bit later. Huskies in transition. Kylie Van Clyde gets the bucket to go. Huskies down by 5 with a minute left. Everybody thinks it's over, right? Nuh-uh. Carly Jeffrey for 3. It's tied. We're going to double overtime. In the double overtime, Jeffrey again? Are you kidding me? It's good. The Husky crowd way up, but they could not put the Peacocks away. Upper Iowa continues to hang around until Carly Jeffrey does what she does best. Another three-pointer by Jeffrey. Upper Iowa gets the easy layup. It's a close three-point game, but Whitman, you might see this one again. Carly Jeffrey, 4-3. Good night, Huskies. Go on to win this one. A big win for St. Cloud State. They get that W. Welcome into a brand new edition of Husky Mag. Jeremy Klein, alongside me is Taylor Budge. What a game. Double overtime thriller.
100 points, too, by the Huskies as well. Haven't seen that since last year. Great victory for them, right in the spot that Coach Fish wants the Huskies at a time like this of the season. Absolute
big win for St. Cloud State. As you take a look at some of the stats from this one, 112-104. Huskies go on to win 13-9 on the year. Upper Iowa, 6-16.
Keep in mind, too, that Lexi Peterman was also out for the Huskies as well. Wasn't an issue for them as Crystal, the captain, led the way with all players, 25 points on the night. Carly Jeffrey is just amazing from three-point land, Jeremy.
Unbelievable. Betsy McDonald chips in another 17 points. Winkler with 20. Buck, 26 points, 16 rebounds. She gets a double-double in the loss for Upper Iowa.
Taking a look at the NSIC North standings, Northern State leading the way thus far this season with their 19-5 overall record. Those 5 losses, though, coming in conference play, that's definitely going to hurt them later on in the season. St. Cloud State tied for 4th with U of M Duluth, looking for that home court advantage when it comes to the NSIC playoffs in a couple of weeks.
And that's exactly where your eyes go to. Tied for 4th, St. Cloud and Duluth. You got to think UMary, Minot State, and Bemidji State got the 6, 7, and 8 spot sealed up, but who's going to get the 4th spot between St. Cloud and Duluth?
The women's team isn't the only one that has that issue, as the St. Cloud State men's basketball team is also looking for home court advantages. They were taking on Winona State. Donnell Seegers early on with the early jumper in the paint to get the Huskies the early lead. Donnell Seegers again with that two-handed slam. You'll be seeing that later on. Eddie Alcantara getting a few points on his own as well. Winona State not giving up. But here is Scotty Stone with the 3. He went on an 8-point run in the first period. Here he is here getting the shot on the baseline. And here he is on the 3-point line again. Who else other than Scotty Stone? Winona State wasn't giving up, though, as they dish it off to Corey Jeffs in the paint. But Jordan Poydras is kind of taking Scotty Stone's thunder, saying, I got this, man. I'm sitting on the 3-point line. Scotty Stone again. But like I said, Winona State not giving up. Corey Jeffs again with another dish to the right-hand side of the paint. Kevin Lewandowski with a one-handed shot off the glass. And here is Scotty Stone. Yet again, Huskies have that big lead at the end of the first half. Tim Wagner was looking hot for Winona State as well. Jordan Poydras has Kevin Lewandowski's back no matter what. Huskies get the big win here. Scotty Stone led the way for the Huskies.
A little bit. I mean, our defense saved us tonight. We didn't really shoot the ball particularly well, but we can't complain. A W is a W, especially at this time of year.
Huskies looking for their 4th straight win, taking on Upper Iowa. Connor Niehaus takes a 3 and makes it. Huskies up early, 3-2. You got to feed the big man. James Fort had a fantastic weekend coming off that injury. He gets the tip in. Huskies. Lewandowski to Stone Cold Scotty Stone. 4-3. Yes, please. Huskies rolling at this point. Upper Iowa would take a lot of threes. I'm not even joking. I can't even remember the big number. James Fort gets that one, swats it out of there. Huskies trying to play good defense, but Upper Iowa continuing to take threes. That's the only way they were staying in this one. Jordan Poydras hits a 3 of his own. 31 points from the junior guard out of Wisconsin. Stone Cold Scotty Stone again. Dude just rains threes all day long. Upper Iowa dribble in, layup good. They were sticking around. It's 41-40. Make that 42-41. Donnell Seegers muscles his way in, and Stone hits Poydras not once, but twice from 3. Poydras had a fantastic game, and the Huskies would go on to finish off the Peacocks with a big 91-82 win. 15-9 are the Huskies. They've won 9 of their last 11 games.
Jordan Poydras leading all players with 31 points on the night. He would later go on to win NSIC Player of the Week. Kevin Lewandowski did go out in that game as well. No update on his condition. Hopefully we see him back, especially before the NSIC playoffs.
James Fort with a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds for him. Scotty Stone, 17 points, 9 rebounds. A great weekend for him. We've been talking about the whole time, playoff projections. How are they going to play out? There's just a few weekends left in the regular season. You take a look at if the season ended today, St. Cloud State would be in 3rd in the North Division, and they would take on Winona State again, the 6th seed out of the South, and they could get a matchup with Minnesota State out of the 2 seed out of the South. But again, just projections right now.
They could be good if St. Cloud State took on Winona State. I think they got a lot of good notes from them early on this weekend. Now the Huskies do have 4 games remaining in their regular schedule and have some business to take care of if they want to play at home in the NSIC playoffs. This weekend, the Cardinal and Black are on the road against Northern State, against MSU Moorhead as well. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. on Friday and 6 p.m. on Saturday. They will then be back at Hollenbeck Hall next weekend to close out the regular season. For more on the St. Cloud State men's basketball team, let's head it down to Ted LaRue, who's standing in Hollenbeck Hall.
Men's basketball coming off a couple of victories here at Hollenbeck Hall as they continue to go through their big winning streak, but the road doesn't get any easier for the Huskies. There's going to be no love lost on Valentine's Day as the Huskies travel up north to Moorhead, Minnesota to take on the Minnesota State Moorhead Dragons. MSU Moorhead is in the top 10 in the country, one of the best teams in the NSIC as they are number 1 in the NSIC North. MSU Moorhead coming off a loss to number 4 Augustana, 97-80, but St. Cloud State is looking to avenge those losses earlier in the season here at Hollenbeck Hall. Big road test after this weekend. We're going to know a lot of what St. Cloud State men's basketball is all about because MSU Moorhead, great players, great defense, inside, outside, running the floor, half-court sets, whatever. MSU Moorhead is not only a conference contender, but a national championship contender as well. It'll be very interesting to see if St. Cloud State can go on the road and get a victory at MSU Moorhead. Keys for St. Cloud State on the men's basketball court this weekend over in Moorhead. More Scotty Stone. Scotty Stone, when he produces well, gets over 20 points, shoots the ball well from behind the arc. St. Cloud State is awfully dangerous. Jordan Poydras last week, NSIC North Player of the Week. He puts up 30. Scotty Stone puts up 20. James Ford puts up 15 in town down low. When that happens, St. Cloud State is awfully tough to beat.
16 teams in 4 days. The 2015 NSIC Sanford Health Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. February 28th through March 3rd at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Get your tickets at the Sanford Pentagon box office or at Ticketmaster.com. That's the 2015 NSIC Sanford Health Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. Your time to shine. St. Cloud State swimming and diving team looking to shine in Minneapolis.
And the St. Cloud State women's hockey team looking to get back on their winning ways as they went up to Bemidji State.
And the number 2 ranked St. Cloud State wrestling team at home taking on Minnesota State Moorhead. Husky Mag will be right back.
UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6.
There's been a simple message for NSIC wrestling teams when they've come to St. Cloud. Good luck. The second-ranked Huskies taking on the MSU Moorhead Dragons at Hollenbeck Hall, and it wasn't even close. Number 6, Mike Rohn. Number 7, Josh Hawk. Number 2, Clint Poster. Number 3, Gabe Fogarty. And number 3, Austin Gorgon, all ranked, all won for the Huskies as they routed the Dragons 45-0 in Hollenbeck Hall on the mats. Dylan Braun was pretty happy after winning his weight class at 184.
We're always pushing the pace, scoring more and more points, getting the major, getting the tech, pin, so extra points, and they add up in the end. That's where we do well at. One thing is we all get along great, and I don't know, we like having fun with each other. We can hang out with each other all day and have a great time. And I don't know, we just like to push ourselves and continue to get better every time.
Diving into some St. Cloud State swimming and diving as the Huskies were in action at the University of Minnesota this past weekend. Senior Alex Bryson led the way for the Huskies after winning the 1650 freestyle in the second day of competition. All the Huskies did very well. They will be back in action next Wednesday through Sunday at the NSUSC Championship down in Mississippi.
St. Cloud State baseball is set to hit the road to kick off the 2015 season in a week, but Huskies star pitcher Reese Gregory is already looking towards those 90-degree days in the summer. Gregory will be back with the St. Cloud Rocks this season, and the Apollo grad couldn't be happier about suiting up for the Rocks again.
Being a hometown guy, being from St. Cloud Apollo and growing up here, it's unexplainable to be able to play here all year.
Now moving it back indoors, the St. Cloud State women's hockey team, they've been struggling on the offensive side of things, haven't been able to score as many goals as they would like to in their games, and they've lost their last 7 as well.
Yeah, they got to try to pick up some WCHA wins.
They're looking to do that this weekend as they headed up north to take on the Bemidji State Beavers. Weren't so lucky on Friday night, losing 3-1. Saturday would be more of a defensive battle as Caitlin Togus of Bemidji State would get the lone goal for the Beavers as they would shut out the Huskies 1-0. Senior Julie Friend would record 25 of 26 saves as the Huskies fell to 6-23-1 on the season.
Now the men's team, they were off this weekend and a much needed off break. Everybody was sick.
Exactly. At Colorado College, 10 guys were sick, but it didn't seem to be an issue for them. I mean, they won 7-1, 6-1. Johnny Bradzinski became part of the Century Club. Huskies are sitting exactly where they want to at this point of the season before they go up north this weekend to take on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Huskies were streaking. They're going to be at the University of Minnesota Duluth this weekend. And for more on that series, let's throw it to Ted LaRue and Jeremiah Graves down at the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center.
Hockey correspondent Jeremiah Graves with us. And Jeremiah, wow, offense is what we're seeing from St. Cloud State against Colorado College, against Western Michigan. Now, those two teams I just said were at the bottom of the NCHC. Is this a product of play not so good teams, or is this Husky offense the real deal right now?
Don't forget, we're at the bottom too, Ted. I mean, it's a little bit of a combination of both. There's no question that CC has had a tough go, but Western Michigan was a game or a series that we should have grabbed at least 2 games against. But, you know, it's what we need to see out of St. Cloud right now. That's a late charge at the end of the season. They're finally getting their feet under them. They got Ethan Prowl back, got a bunch of healthy guys coming in the lineup, and the youth are stepping up. So it's a combination of both. They scored 22 goals in 4 games, so they're finding their stride right now, and the late charge is what they need at the end of the season.
We saw Johnny Bradzinski break the 100-point barrier. Name one player besides Johnny that stepped up this last month or so.
Patrick Russell, freshman. The freshman played so well this year. I mean, you know, the upper class has kind of had a tough season so far, stat-wise this year, but Patrick Russell has filled that role at the bottom level, stepping into the second line, excuse me, in the first power play. He's found a way to get the puck in the net, regardless of who's on the ice with him, and that's something that you don't expect out of a freshman, but you love to see.
No game this past week, but you got Minnesota Duluth on the road, going to Amsoil up north there. What are you looking for in this series? I mean, sweep is a word we talk about. You know, last year, St. Cloud State swept them in Duluth. Duluth swept St. Cloud State right here at the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center earlier this season. What do you expect out of this series?
Well, it's a tough series to watch. It really was. You got a lot of high hopes going up against a team of UMD. We've had a pretty good series against them all time record-wise. But like you said, it seems like whoever's in the other person's building is going to win that night. That's not something I'm expecting to see coming up next weekend. It's going to be a very hard blue-collar style game. It's going to be, you know, a lot of whoever wins the battles in the corners, who does the little things right in transition offense in the neutral zone is going to find a way to win that game as long as we can find a way to get the puck past Kaskasuo.
Bob Motzko seemed really frustrated in that sweep earlier in the season against Minnesota Duluth. What does he got to do to be able to maybe get up and down? Because Duluth seems like they like to slow it down, grind it out type of game. What does he have to do to be able to get away from that and play his style?
Well, it comes down to line matching for him. He's got to find a way to get his third line against the first line to allow our first line a little bit of opportunity to utilize their speed and not get bogged down by the big bodies of UMD. Like you said, though, it's going to be a nitty-gritty game. They're going to try and slow the pace, get a couple of power play goals throughout the series, and we need to find a way to get those 5-on-5 goals in order to get this thing balanced out.
Prediction for the series, what's going to happen?
We win Friday, lose Saturday.
Jeremiah Graves, Husky Mag hockey correspondent.
Thanks, sir.
The Huskies will look to make their way to the Frozen Face-Off this season as the top 4 teams in the NCHC will face off in the 2nd annual Frozen Face-Off. March 20th and 21st at the Target Center in Minneapolis. All session tickets are available now, while single game tickets will go on sale on February 23rd. You can purchase those tickets by visiting nchchockey.com. Now the Bradzinski Day will continue for a few more years at St. Cloud State as Hobie Baker nominee Johnny Bradzinski's younger brother Easton has verbally committed to play hockey just like his brother at St. Cloud State. Easton, who is a senior wing at Blaine High School, is 2nd in scoring for the Bengals this season, and he has 70 points in his 3 years of varsity hockey. Easton and Johnny's other brother Michael is a sophomore defender at the University of Minnesota, and younger brother Bryce still has a few more years of hockey before deciding on his hockey future.
The Dome might be covering up Husky Stadium, but the hype revolving around next year's SCSU football team is through the roof. And that excitement continued to grow on National Signing Day. Husky signed over 20 players on National Signing Day. The incoming class includes athletes from Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and of course, Minnesota. Head coach Scott Underwood is excited for his new players.
Certainly look at a recruiting class, you always kind of start with your quarterback. John Solberg's a guy that, you know, we certainly targeted early and had an opportunity to watch him play and work with him a lot. So we're excited about having him join our roster certainly, but numerous other ones that, as we went through the recruiting process that we look to the future to help our football program.
3 key recruits to keep an eye on in the future: wide receiver Vance Barnes out of Minnetonka, running back Kez Flomo out of Totino Grace, and quarterback John Solberg out of Cambridge Isanti, all 3 of which will redshirt next season. Before you can get to the college ranks, you got to stay in high school. Sartell Hockey taking on Alexandria.
We'll also take a look at some more high school recruits throughout the St. Cloud area. Husky Mag will be right back.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Taylor, if there's one word that St. John's fans love to hate, it's the word Tommies. But they might not be feeling that way after this year's National Signing Day. Cathedral football star Tommy Auger committed to play football and baseball at St. John's University, and he's not the only St. Cloud native. Apollo quarterback Ben Alvord also signed a letter of intent to play with the Johnnies. Auger led the state with 90 receptions, that's third all-time in state history, and 927 yards. Alvord was a 4-year starter at Apollo. In his senior season, he threw for over 900 yards and 9 touchdowns. These two will join a Johnny team that won the MIAC last year. And if these guys play at any level close to the way that they did at high school, at the college level, watch out for St. John's at the Division III level.
Exactly. St. John's has always had a very successful program. Adding two names like Auger and Alvord, definitely the team is going to continue in the right direction. Now moving gears a little bit, taking a look at some high school girls hockey Section 8 AA playoffs. Taking a look around the area, second round River Lake Stars, they'll be facing off against Roseau. Moorhead also, they'll be taking on Buffalo after Buffalo took out St. Cloud in the first round. Now you gotta love a little CLC puck action. Moving gears to the boys' side of things, as number 2 in state Alexandria took a trip down to Sartell as they faced off against the Sabres this past weekend. The Cardinals would start out on a 3-0 run, getting started here by a nice dish from Chase Nielsen to Alec Wolfspeka. As Alexandria struck just 20 seconds into the game, just 2 minutes later, Ryan Marciniak would light the lamp himself with his 19th goal of the season. The Cardinal offense would continue to fight. 3 goals in 5 minutes as Jack Steffel would work his way in on the power play to give Alexandria the 3-0 lead early on. Sartell would finally find the spark that they needed though with Jake Hines' pass to Will McCabe, but it wouldn't be enough as Alexandria would edge Sartell in this one 5-2 this past weekend.
And Taylor, you see that goal right there? I wouldn't be surprised if that made it into the Blizzard's best. We saw so many plays tonight. What could possibly make it into those top 3?
Exactly. Blizzard's best is in next after the break here on Husky Mag.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. 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 You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Taylor, my favorite part of the show, Blizzard's Best. We get to take a look at some of the best plays of the week from the St. Cloud area.
Jumping in right into it. Number 3, a lot of plays to choose from, Jeremy, like you said.
Sabres go top shelf right where Grandma hides the Thin Mints. Sartell would go on to lose this game, though.
Taking a look at number 2 at Hollenbeck Hall. Donnell Seegers, I said you would see this later on in the show. Two-handed slam dunk. Let's take another look at this in slow motion. St. Cloud State would go on to win this one.
And number 1, it's Carly Jeffrey. Watch Nicole Whitman. Does not travel, and you find number 1-1 with the big 3. Watch the Cloud Crazies. All of a sudden, just gonna jump up and be super happy. Carly Jeffrey, raining 3s in double overtime, helps the Huskies go on to win against the Upper Iowa Peacocks. An absolute amazing game. So many great plays after this weekend.
Let's talk about the Cloud Crazies as well. I mean, they were out there in their all black on Friday. They're out there in their Hawaiian gear on Saturday. Saw Coach Reimer make a tweet out to them. So he was loving it, and hopefully we see the Cloud Crazies out again as the Huskies continue their regular season.
You never know what the Cloud Crazies are going to come out in. I bet they were a little chilly on Saturday night. But I think that's going to do it for us here at Husky Mag. For Taylor Budge, I'm Jeremy Klein. We'll see you next time.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6.